الله أكبر العزة لله. حفر أحد الطرق لإخراج الأخوة المعتقلين. في درج شيء؟ هون انتوا بس تطلعوا هيك على الشيء هذا كله. في درج هون. بدنا نشوفوا هذا. في درج انا متاكد في درج هون. انا متاكد هون في درج. ولاك هون تحت. ولاك ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. يا شباب.
Thousands of Syrians headed Monday to Sednaya military prison, just north of Damascus, to search for their loved ones. Civil defense workers and teams from the White Helmet Civil Defense Group were seen digging holes inside the prison in search for hidden cells or underground chambers. People were seen wandering inside the infamous prison, known as the human slaughterhouse, a place that for long time horrified the Syrian people. We have detainees who were taken since 2011, 2012 and 2013, said Ghazwan Hussein, who came looking for relatives and friends. As insurgents swept across Syria in just 10 days to bring an end to the Assad family's 50-year rule, they broke into prisons and security facilities to free political prisoners and many of the tens of thousands of people who disappeared since the conflict began back in 2011. On Sunday, women detainees, some with their children, screamed as men broke the locks off their cell doors. Syria's prisons have been infamous for their harsh conditions. Torture is systematic, say human rights groups, whistleblowers, and former detainees. Secret executions have been reported at more than 24 facilities run by Syrian intelligence, as well as at other sites. Amnesty International and other groups say that dozens of people were secretly executed every week in Sednaya, estimating that up to 13,000 Syrians were killed between 2011 and 2016.
من 2011 و2012 و2013 إنهم معتقلين.
في كل شيء. هذول كلهم إصابة. هذول كلهم إصابة وسوف يحاسبون، وكل الأسماء الموجودة عندنا حتى لو راح إلى الصين بدنا نجيبه، ما في.
خلي بالك في بارد واير.
وين خافوا السجناء يعني؟ هن طلعوا من السجن الضباط والعساكر، السجناء وين يخافون يعني؟
The information about the state of affairs of the Russian army in Syria continue to appear on the internet. As it turned out, military units along with equipment had been redeployed several days ago, leaving the Tartus and Khmeimim bases. Russian soldiers fled behind the mountains closer to the sea, where they are awaiting redeployment. Russian pilot Captain Ilya Tumanov reported this on his Telegram channel. Individual units are currently surrounded in a circular defense and are waiting for help. The representative of the occupying country emphasized. Russian officer expressed hope that the wounded children and women would be taken out of Syria first, and not the looted trophies and high-ranking commanders / officials with their passions. Ukrainian journalist Yuri Butasov added that the Russian groups Ravnaya, Gornaya and Palmyra, also with the base units, abandoned many radars, air defense systems and other weapons during their flight. He cited the US Army's withdrawal from Afghanistan as an example. The Americans did not abandon their own. They did not abandon radars, Patriot and HIMARS. They did not ask the partisans in slippers for a green corridor. Russia has once again disgraced itself in front of the entire world, the media representative summed up. Let us recall that, as reported by media, the rebel army entered Tartus. The overthrow of Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria has dealt Kremlin ruler Putin one of the greatest geopolitical setbacks of his time in power. According to the New York Times, the opposition's offensive has transformed Russia from a Tsar maker to an observer. Analysts believe that Moscow's defeat in Syria was made possible because its occupation forces were bogged down in the war against Ukraine. In their opinion, the main question now remains whether Moscow will be able to conclude an agreement with the new Syrian government that will allow it to keep its naval base in Tartus and the Hmeimim air base. Moscow analyst Anton Mardasov is not sure about this, since the Russian Federation has used these facilities for airstrikes on opposition forces. One US official told reporters that Russia had withdrawn many of its warplanes from Syria to use in the war against Ukraine, and Russian ships from the Black Sea would not have been able to transit to the Mediterranean because Turkey closed the straits at the start of a full-scale invasion. According to Mardasov, Syria has become a resort for Russian troops and a place of exile for worthless generals. In addition, after the coup of Yevgeny Prigozhin, fighters from the private military company Wagner ended their operations in Syria.